Hey everyone, it's Greg Mazza, Homecare Breakthrough Solutions, and welcome. Today, I'm going to share with you 3 important things you need to know about separating yourself from the competition and why it's important, right? So there's something that, I don't know if you guys have ever heard of Sun Tzu. He's an ancient Tao philosophist. He's noted in the art of war for the work that he's done as a general. And one of the things he talked about is, it's one of my favorite quotes. It says, strategies without tactics is the slowest route to victory. Tactics without strategy is the noise before defeat. Let me explain that to you, right? So if you have the right strategy, right, you will eventually win. It might take you a long time if you don't have tactics. Tactics, right, they're helpful, right? So I'll give you an example. In my business, in home care, when I was doing sales, I had tactics because I'd done sales before, but I was missing the strategy part. So I started making, it says you make noise, right? I started to get some results, but there was a point where we almost ran out of capital in our business for a lot of different reasons, but one of it is because I really wasn't getting the types of results that I wanted because I didn't have the right strategy. So what we're going to talk about is a very key critical strategy. Right? I don't know if you've ever been out in the marketplace trying to grow your business, build relationships, and you have people say things like, oh, we just pass out a list, or, you know, there's so many of you guys out there, or, you know, you might have even said this to yourself, like, oh, there's too much competition. But part of the reason these things happen is because you've not been able to, like, literally set yourself apart from the competition. Right? So we're going to talk today about how do you do that and why is it essential? Because the reality is that social workers are bombarded. They get people coming in there all the time. Clients have a lot of different options, right? So we need something that will help us stand out from the crowd. One of the things that we had implemented in our business was we created this wellness program, and it added value to the marketplace. We're going to talk about the three key elements that when you look at your business, because I get people all the time that say, yeah, we've got a differentiator, we're good at this piece, or I'm the local owner, or you know, they'll say, we got great customer service. And don't get me wrong, those things are valuable, they matter, but they're not really strong differentiators. You want something that's gonna just separate you from the pack. So first thing, number 1, does your differentiator have real value to your referral sources and or your consumers? So that's the first thing we want to look at when we're evaluating, is this a good differentiator? Number 2, is it something that's a little bit more difficult to duplicate? Because if it's something like, oh, okay, we do national background checks, so what? Great, so can a lot of other owners. They just have to call up the company and say, we want a national background check, right? So we want to look for things that are not really that easy to duplicate. An example is I had a client, she was in a position where she had a partnership in an actual doctor's office, and she had access to nurse practitioners, right? So if you and I were gonna go hire a nurse practitioner to do an assessment or to manage care plans, we're gonna be paying a lot of money for that. She, because of her part ownership in this, was able to set it up where she can have nurse practitioners do their assessments and manage the care plans. Now, obviously, we're not all gonna be able to do that, but we wanna start looking at angles like that, like what can we do differently that's not easy to duplicate? And the third part is we want something that's not widespread in the marketplace, right? So I'll give you an example of this. 3 years ago, right? I don't know when you're watching this video, but 3 years ago from when this video was recorded, there's a handful of companies that were really focusing on Alzheimer's and dementia programs, right? That's cool. Not a lot of people were doing it. Now there's 20, 30, 50, 100 in your market alone that have some type of Alzheimer's dementia program. I'm not saying that's not good. It's still a good thing. We want it. It's great. Have it in your business. But the reality is that if I'm talking to a social worker and I'm like, hey, yeah, we've got this really great program. It's a differentiator program. And she's heard that same thing 20 times that past week, how excited is she going to be about the program? How excited is she going to be? So these are things we want to take into consideration. These are things that we want to take into account and make sure that, like, when we have something that we're counting as a differentiator, that it's not widespread in the marketplace, because that's where you start to get like real value and real excitement about what you're doing. Like when we did our wellness program, there was no one else in our marketplace that had a wellness program. So anyway, hope that makes sense to you guys. We've got a free download for you guys. So if you're looking for the strategy, systems for growing and scaling your business through sales efforts, like what are the strategies, what are the tactics you should be considering, we've got a blueprint below. So you can just download that guide for free. Hope you find value in it, and hope this helps. Talk soon.